this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Hey guys, welcome back to DreamHack Stockholm. I'm Jarasar, and I'm joined by the two Diablo streamers that you guys might not have heard much about on the StarCraft stage, but rest assured, they've been here streaming something like 8-10 hours a day. Some pretty incredible stuff here. We've got Moses and DeadSet joining me, and I'm personally quite excited to be chatting to these guys because I used to play a lot of Diablo II, which admittedly is a long time ago now, guys, but I'm guessing the game's progressed to slightly beyond Mephisto Pindleskin runs. So we'll be talking a little bit about what's actually changed since then. First of all, let's get the introductions out of the way. Who are you guys, and what have you been doing BlizzCon here so far, and how have you found DreamHack?
Ooh, starting with the apprentice rather than the master.
Yes.
Alrighty. I'm DeadSet. I have been YouTubing for the better part of this year and have been streaming for like 2 months now on the regular. And I'm here in DreamHack showcasing Diablo stuff, meeting the community, meeting a lot of the other Blizzard players as well, all of the games. And I'm basically a Crusader dude that likes to interact with people and show guides and try out different things. This guy's Moses, oh my god.
All right, let's go.
What's up, guys? I'm Moses. I've been streaming and, well, I've been playing Diablo 3 since pretty much game release. Only started streaming it about a year after the game was released. I've been, under my hood, I have about 7,000 hours played of D3, mostly Monk and Wizard. And right now I'm like streaming Wizard gameplay every day on Twitch. My Twitch name is Moses2265. You guys are welcome to join.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. And I think a lot of the people who might be watching this video, maybe they're not hardcore Diablo gamers, but they've certainly played similar games before. Why don't you talk us through sort of the evolution of gameplay from, let's say, the end of Lord of Destruction up to D3 beta release, and how it's kind of progressed through D3 and into Reaper of Souls? Like, what's the gameplay different? How has it evolved in terms of dynamic?
Well, you no longer are restricted to a certain skill tree, which is like the Diablo II thing. It has been a WoW thing for a while. It got removed from there as well, as far as I know, because I'm not a pretty big WoW player, but yeah. In Diablo, you're pretty much free to use whatever skill and rune you feel like using at the current time, and you're free to synergize from there and theorycraft. A lot of players criticize Diablo 3 for not having to start from scratch every single time. You can respec with whatever you feel like every single time, but that's also very liberating for the player, and I think a lot of people are missing it for the sake of missing something, to be honest. Other than that, Reaper of Souls has introduced a lot of differentiation in items. Before it was pretty much binary. You went for crit stats, attack speed all the time. In Reaper of Souls, with introduction to elemental damage, a lot more elite affixes, skill damage also on gear. The respec has been moved from skills to items. You gotta itemize a lot more, and you gotta find the proper items for every single build. I think this has been the most significant change. Yeah.
Yeah, well, since the game started, there's actually have been quite a lot of changes. And, well, right now what's happening with Reaper of Souls, it came out, it introduced the entire thing of, like, when it comes to set items, like, every class has its own set, and you pretty much build your endgame build around that and trying to perfect your items, reaching, like, the utmost DPS output. And, well, recently what's been happening is patch 2.1 was introduced, and with patch 2.1 we received a lot of like major changes and additions to the game, such as like ladders that did not exist before Reaper of Souls, before patch 2.1. So ladders are pretty huge addition to the game. Additionally, we got they added legendary gems, which you can socket into your rings and your amulet. So you kind of have to make the choice, what is now better? Should I go for like a socket in my ring or amulet, or should I go for like the normal crit damage stats? You know, now you can compete, and you're doing like greater rifts. The game have evolved, and like there's a lot more content and a lot more replayability to the game as a result.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about that replayability. But by the way, I'm pretty happy that we have class-specific sets. I still remember my Rasha's magic find bonus. Hopefully that still applies somewhere in some form. Showing...
There's actually a Rasha set existing in the current...
There's actually... Yes! Is it still purple?
It is purple.
Yes! All right. I don't feel old anymore. This is great. Let's talk a little bit about replayability, though, because that was always like a question in Diablo II, especially, I would say, like post-patch 1.10. This is going back many years now, when the ladder system and seasons were introduced in D2 as well. It was a way for Blizzard to introduce continuity and replayability to the players. Now, in Diablo III and Reaper of Souls, it's not just that anymore. Yes, we now have seasons, we've got the ladder going on as well, but what other game modes and what dynamics do you have after completing the game that lets you go back and play and stream it time and time again?
Well, we now have the Greater Rift system, which, in addition to Adventure Mode, which was introduced as soon as Reaper of Souls was released, and it also already had like bounty system in the game, you had Rift system in the game, all sorts of torment levels and difficulties to accommodate your current gear level. But with Greater Rifts, it's an independent scaling system which pushes your character to the limit the higher you go. And certainly trying to push for that ladder placement is a great incentive to replay every single level and every single possible build and try to push yourself as high as you could. Especially for high-end players, the introduction of the ladder system, I think, is that much needed competition that will ensure the survivability of Reaper of Souls as a whole throughout the years.
Yeah, it's actually a great motivation to see, you know, to being able to complete that Greater Rift, to get to that difficulty, and to, you know, to make it at the right time. It's like time-based. You have to complete like dungeons. At the end, you got the boss in the end, and these bosses have like a lot of HP, like in the higher Greater Rifts. It's kind of difficult to kill them. You know, it just takes a long time, and it takes like a lot of planning. It involves like skills, and of course, like RNG is a big part of it. So
that sounds a lot harder than the cow level.
Absolutely, absolutely a lot harder. And yeah, and also with the addition of seasons to like the recent patch 2.1, we now have like other legendary items that only come and introduce in seasons. So that's allowing Blizzard to introduce more and more content. So yeah, at the beginning of every season, we get like more legendary items with more unique effects and such. So yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for taking the time to explain that to us. Sorry about the background noise. For what it's worth on the video, thanks to directional mics, it should just about be okay. But if anyone's wondering what's happening, they're basically taking apart the rest of the DreamHack area now as the finals are going on.
We're about to die.
Yeah, as long as the ceiling doesn't collapse, we should be good. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat to me, guys. Where can people find you, see more of your streams, interact with you, say hello?
For me, it would be Twitch TV/DreamHack. On YouTube, search for DeadSet Gaming because my URL is all sorts of messed up. On Twitter, it's DeadSet Gaming, and on Facebook, it's DeadSet Gaming as well.
Yeah, well, for me, I stream every day on Twitch TV. You guys are more than invited. Again, it's Moses _2265. See you guys there. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining me, guys. And yeah, thanks very much from DreamHack Stockholm. These are the Diablo guys who have been streaming day in, day out, and they've done a tremendous job. We're all pretty tired, end of day 2, so we're going to go watch some StarCraft finals. Take care, we'll see you later.